Hello, I'm Rodian, and welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about China's 240-hour visa-free transit policy and try to answer some questions that people ask a lot. I will cover eligibility, rules, common misunderstandings, and best practices, and so much more. Before we dive deep into the policy, I want to first point out the main reason it's such a great deal for international travelers, which is it saves tons of time and energy required to apply for a travel visa. It allows people to explore China for 10 days, which is enough for most or at least a large percentage of people. With that being said, let's now break the rules down so you can fully take advantage of this transit without visa policy. So what is this 240-hour visa-free transit policy? To quote the National Immigration Administration, citizens of 50 countries including Indonesia, Russia, and United Kingdom may transit through China using 240-hour visa-free transit policy if they hold valid international travel documents and interland tickets with confirmed dates and seats to a third country or region. First thing first, you need to check if you hold a passport issued by one of these approved countries. If you see your country here, congratulations! You have qualified for the transit without visa policy, and you can keep watching this video. Just make sure your passport has at least 3 months remaining validity. If not, it doesn't hurt to know more about this policy, as more countries are likely to be added into the list in the future. It's also worth mentioning that if you are from one of these countries, you can enter China visa-free anyway, so just ignore the transit without visa policy. And I can see you smirking already. Then I have to explain what this policy means. So essentially, it's a policy that allows you to explore China while transiting through China. It only works for you if you are transiting via mainland China and you have another destination that is not in mainland China. To qualify for the 240-hour visa-free transit, you must enter China from one country and exit to a different country or region. To use the formula, A, mainland China, C is valid. People also ask like, I'm a UK passport holder, do I have to fly from UK to be eligible? So the answer is no, you don't have to fly from your home country to be eligible. And a lot of people ask, can I fly from my home country to China and then back to my home country? So the answer is clearly no. That is not a transit, but a round trip. So a valid itinerary looks like this. Of course, I'm making this up. You fly from London to Bangkok via Beijing. You fly from Berlin to Ho Chi Minh City via Xi'an. Or you can even fly from Amsterdam to Hong Kong via Shanghai, which leads to another question that I get asked a lot. If I fly from my home country to Hong Kong via mainland China, am I eligible? So the answer is yes, you can. And that's because this transit without visa policy applies to the customs territory of China instead of the national territory. When the policy mentions visa-free entry, it means entering the Chinese mainland. And Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan have separate customs and border control systems from that of Chinese mainland. And that's part of why in the official announcement it says a third country or region. You should also be aware that there is no limit to how many times you can use the transit without visa, even in quick succession. For example, you can fly from London to Kuala Lumpur via Shanghai and fly from Kuala Lumpur back to London via Shanghai. This brings a lot of flexibility when you are planning your itinerary. Another point worth mentioning is that you can enter China into one city and exit from another city, which of course means you don't have to enter and exit China from the same city, and you are allowed to travel domestically within China within the approved regions. So what exactly are these regions? You can look at this map to get a rough idea and refer to this list for comprehensive knowledge. I have put the link to the list in the descriptions below. So you can fly or take a train from one city to another during your trip in China. Traveling across different provinces is also allowed, like you can visit Beijing and Shanghai and also Shenzhen in one trip. But it's important to be aware that not all places are open for visitors. Yes, in some provinces you can go anywhere, but in some others, only several cities are open. Just refer to the list to be sure. There is another question that people ask a lot. Can I take a train, a boat, or a cruise ship to enter or exit China? Yes, it's possible. But if you choose to enter by train or by water, just make sure that you select from the ports as listed by the National Immigration Administration. Again, just refer to the same list to avoid any issues. Now that we have demystified this 10-day visa waiver program, here are some best practices for you to give you an extra boost of confidence when traveling with it. First, it appears that the biggest challenge isn't in China, but in your original country, where some airline staff at check-in don't understand transit without visa rules and may prevent you from boarding. In order to check in successfully, you can carry a copy of the official announcement to show to airline agents who is uninformed or have false understanding of the policy. About that, I've read one story online. So there was one guy flying from Mongolia to home via China, and he planned to enter Beijing and exit from Shanghai, right? And he met this gate agent in Mongolia who mistakenly thought the traveler had to enter and exit China from the same city and therefore made him buy another ticket from Beijing to his home. Luckily, he was clever enough to buy a refundable ticket from Beijing to his home country and cancelled it right after, and in the end flew home from Shanghai as planned. That's quite an experience, huh? Anyway, I have put the official document in the descriptions below. Feel free to download, print it out, so that you can educate the agents if needed. And also because you might need to explain things to the airline, it's best to arrive at the airport early so you don't miss the flight. Second, when planning your itinerary, keep in mind that the clock starts at midnight after your arrival. Let's say you arrive on 15th February at 0:30 a.m. Beijing time. Your day 1 will actually be 16th February, and you should leave by the end of 25th February. Yes, I know what you're thinking. In this case, you actually have almost 11 days to spend in China. By the way, so far if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for future handy information. It means everything for me. Next, I highly recommend you to print out your hotel and flight confirmation letter and your travel plan, as you might be asked to show them when you go through the border control. The immigration officers may ask about your itinerary and ask to see proof of your onward travel, like your outbound flight. Another tip is to fill out the digital arrival card within 24 hours of your arrival and take a screenshot of the QR code generated after filling it out. This can be useful if you encounter issues with internet access at the airport. And even if for some reason you have to fill in a paper arrival card again after landing, you would be confident in doing so, as you have already done it once. To save your time from looking for the link to the digital arrival card that looks like this, I have done the research and put it in the descriptions below. By now, you should have had a solid understanding of this transit without visa program and have learned all the best practices. But you might still be wondering what exactly you should be expecting from the day when your journey to China finally begins. So now, please allow me to walk you through all the possible scenarios on that day. So, imagine you're at the airport of the country you are entering in China from. You're at the check-in counter, and you hand in your passport to the agent. The agent looks into your passport and asks where your Chinese visa is. You tell them you intend to transit without visa. Now it's possible that they look puzzled like they've never heard of it before, and then call their supervisor for help. I know it's not great, but just try to stay calm. Since you already had the official announcement printed out, just show it to them and explain with patience. I believe eventually they would give you the boarding pass to fly to China. On the plane, before landing, the flight attendants might send out a paper arrival card that looks like this. If so, you just need to fill it out. Don't worry if your airline didn't distribute the card during the flight, as you will have the chance to get it at the airport after landing. By the way, regarding the section for detailed address or hotel name, just fill in the name of the first hotel. For cities intended to visit, it's okay to just put the 2 cities you fly in and out of. But of course, it's fine if you can fit all the city names in the field. After you land in China, it's time to look out for a special counter that may be labeled 240-hour transit or special entry permit. On your way to that counter is where you might find arrival cards. Keep in mind that you don't go to the immigration counter behind all the folks who have visas. If you're not sure where to find it, just ask. That's what we do when traveling. Then everything should be smooth and fast. You will be met with the immigration officer who will stamp your passport with transit without visa entry. And then you are free to travel within the permitted regions before the 240 hours expire. And that's about everything I have to say about China's 240-hour visa-free transit policy. I hope you found this video helpful. If yes, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be the first to get more China travel tips. Until next time.